IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Made in India, hosted by May Thomas, where she brings exclusive acoustic sessions and interviews with the best independent musicians in India.
You're listening to TFG Football.
What's up, everyone? It's good to be back in the studio talking about football, and well, they're listening to the Indian Football, TFG Indian Football Podcast. Joining me in the studio is Kevin, who's always...
Thank you, Siju. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you for introducing you, right? Otherwise, you had to do that part. I reached last night, so happy to be back in the studio. Well, you did hear me on and off. We were in three different places when we previewed Bengaluru's AFC Cup match, right? We are happy to be in one place. But Chiranjit hopefully will join us in the studio after the World Cup campaign comes to an end. Right now he's in Kolkata. Already.
Yeah, but who is this?
Well, this is, the listeners know who this is, so it's okay. We'll move on with talking about...
this is a very unusual voice. It's like a blast from the past, like from a different era. Like 7 months ago, I last heard this voice hosting the show.
Yeah, I hope you're happy I'm back again.
Good? Yeah.
Well, let's move on then. We talk about, first we begin with, let's talk about this bit. AIFF, India, bidding for the Club World Cup for 2020 and 2021. Yeah. They've officially announced that. Kevin and Chiranjit, your thoughts on it? First we go with Kevin.
Firstly, why? Is it that we are supposed to bid in everything that we have a chance on?
So I got a comment, so I'll just share this. I'm not taking the guy's name, but so when I shared this tweet saying that why are we hosting all these events again? Just to be the footballing nation and the culture. And then one guy comes, so isn't that helping in developing football? How does hosting events and being part of it just by default by hosting develop the team or whatever? We have different takes on that.
The groundwork still remains to be done. Hosting, yes, does get you the attention of the world, but what's happening of the underlying structure that's been missing. Under 17 is being talked about as the stepping stone, but what steps have been taken? We are playing in the I-League. We are playing the under 17 players against twice their ages. Is that what we are looking for? That's not going to help us. Yes, it's beneficial for some time. It does kick off some type of an evolution of Indian football to get the structure in place, but is that happening? Hosting will not get us the structure sorted.
Chiranjit.
Okay. So I'm gonna say this is awesome. Okay, for many reasons. First of all, let's take this structurally. Kevin, you said playing in I-League, it's not going to help that way. But for most players that we have in the under 17 and the under 18 teams, that's the next logical step. They are young. So if we are to groom them for something big, like let's say the under 20 World Cup that we are also bidding for, then we have to expose them to senior level football right now, because we have to get them used to the superior physique that they will face. By the way, this is going to be a combination of the under 18 and under 17 teams. So I am hopeful that by the time our team gets ready for the under 20 World Cup, it will be a better team than the India under 17 side by itself. That aside, why host it? Because FIFA has put a lot of money into developing these stadiums. I think a lot of AIFF has done a lot of work as well. Some of the state governments have spent a lot. We have this infrastructure now. We can host it. We can actually pull off even a senior World Cup if we get the chance. So why not use that opportunity? So this is what they do. You order in bulk. It's like buying lottery tickets. You don't buy one. You buy 10, 20 and hope that one of them strikes something. So that's what is happening. AIFF is bidding for Club World Cup, Under 20 World Cup. I think if one of them goes through or none of them goes through, I am pretty sure they will also host for the Under 23 World Cup as well. They will bid for it, because otherwise the whole thing is waste. Itna paisa kharcha kiya hai, you have made 6 World Cup stadiums. Might as well try to go to the next level. And saying that just by hosting, it does not really develop the sport. Well, it gets us started. We have already spent so much money. We might as well get more value out of it by hosting another big event, which again puts us in the forefront of the world football and gives us all the eyeballs. and makes other people interested in us. For example, La Liga is coming into Indian football. They want to expand in India. There is also the other Premier Leagues and other major clubs who are expanding their presence in India. At least two of the India under-17 players have been approached by several clubs. I think Amarjeet is actually going to a European club. I think Dheeraj has offers from 3 European clubs. So all these things are happening simply because we are hosting and we're putting our players out there, we're putting our stadiums out there, we're putting our football culture in the spotlight of world football, because it's remarkable that we sell out a game within one day. We move the game from one place to another and it sells out, and then we just registered the highest attended under-17 World Cup ever. This is an achievement. And AIFF, IMG Reliance, Javier Seppi, Praful Patel, everybody deserves full credit for pulling this off. It wasn't easy, and if they go ahead and do the Under-20 World Cup and Club World Cup, it's not going to be easy again. But yeah, we deserve it, and they should go for it. There are tangible benefits that Indian football gets. Then again, let's say they are going for the Club World Cup, which is I think is a bit premature, because Indian clubs are not ready to take on the world stage at all, right? It's just not going to happen, because we're talking about the senior players now. So why are they doing it? Well, ISL is going to be the new top division by 2020 or 2019 or 2021 for that matter. So if you have ISL as a league where the winner gets to participate in the Club World Cup by default, by virtue of hosting it, then ISL's profile in the world gets a huge boost. And it also keeps around investors. They want the investors not to leave, because a lot of investors and team owners and people who operate franchises, they're not satisfied with the kind of return that they've got, because they came in to make money and it's not happening as yet. So by boosting the league's profile, they hope the sponsorship levels will go up, interest in the league will go up, and they may even attract investment from around the world in Indian clubs, which is one way to make it sustainable.
Yeah, what point you're making is totally correct. But then hosting a World Cup actually has to be supplemented with many other things, which we do not see is beginning at the moment. Yes, we see the spotlight being given to the under-17 players of the Indian team. Yes, the offers are right there. But then what about that, the mission 11 million that we talked about? It was nothing but, just coming and kicking a football. Was it something that sparked all the schools and colleges to come and take the initiative where they introduce the sport? Even if they introduce, is that the right method for coaching that is brought out to the kids? No, because
the problem of the go ahead, finish it.
Yeah, so that is what I'm talking about. Yeah, no doubt that there is a lot of benefit in hosting a World Cup, the Club World Cup, and hosting a FIFA event. It's there, but what is the plan down those 3 years that will be making India at least according to the talent level? We are there according to the hosting part. We are showing our capabilities. We can host an event, but is the ground reality really there? Are we creating those talents at the smallest ages level? At the under 13s league does start, but what about the under 17? Are they, do they have a future where they can be promised, okay, they have a pathway to get to the professional level? Because these guys are this is the first step that they've seen. There is glory, there is, something that, gets their parents backing. For India to come up from the grassroots is very important. That culture has to be there. That, we did speak about things like, if the parents are interested, only then there is a pathway for even the smallest, someone coming from the slums, someone who does not have anything but talent. No, that's really not there. Yes, the glamour is all there. We can show our capabilities, but what the reality is, are we creating talents?
So look, that is going to happen over the time, right? I mean, the first step was creating under 13 league, and it's going to go down to under 11, and then the baby league or nursery league, whatever you want to call it, all the way down. There are some baby leagues already happening in the regional level. So it's a huge structural thing, because and it's going to take time simply because I think in 5 years we're going to take over China in terms of population. So yeah, it's going to happen. It's going to take time. About Mission 11 million, the concept is good, but that thing just lasted up less than a year. You want to do something like that, you got to give it at least 2-3 years. So if they start another Mission 11 million right now with the 2021 Club World Cup inside, or 2020 Club World Cup inside, actually, like, you get 2 years back to back if you win the bid. So with 2020 inside, if they start right now, yeah, that makes sense. You're gonna have a proper reach out to all those kids. So what actually comes out of this, I think we talked about this in the show before. A grassroots initiative like this, the product of it is the data. If you have some data on the players, if you have list of names, what position they can be good at, some coach just looks at them for an hour and says, okay, this kid should be, groomed for this or whatever. That's the potential out there. And pass on the data to somebody else, and get the clubs involved in processing those data. The academies should get a copy of it. It should not be like a proprietary information. It should be available to everybody. And that is how you can actually make it work, Later on, out of 11 million, if you can get 100 kids to get started on that path, and they follow through to a professional or let's say an educated coaching system that they follow through till they're 19 or 20 years old, that's a success. You're not going to get everybody to become a footballer out of that. So yeah, that's the objective of a program like that. But that is literally the surface. Mission 11 million was a surface program. The deeper ones are happening at under 18, under 15 level right now, where the ISL teams are getting involved for the first time. For the first time this year, we will see in the youth leagues all the ISL teams, fielding teams. There are going to be B-sides playing in the second division. So yeah, suddenly we have way more clubs who are actually participating in the whole process, and that's also another starting point. So yeah, this is happening, man. I mean, I see some tangible changes happening, and hopefully this keeps on expanding. And I think part of it is the possibility that our junior teams, the India junior team or some junior club teams, will play in high-profile tournaments later on. And, the clubs, whoever grooms the next big guy, next Dheeraj or next Amarjeet or next Komal, will get to share that glory. And that's part of the equation, because the clubs are in it for themselves. So you have to offer them that slice of glory. So yeah, that's what is happening. And you see, this, if we do under 20, that's good for this generation of players. Maybe they will help us, get into the top 60s in FIFA rankings when they become senior players. But these are all layered approaches, man. It's not gonna, no matter how hard we try, I don't think we're gonna go above top 50 in the next 10 years. So that's what happens, man. It has to happen step by step, and it has to unfold over the next few decades. So you won't see results immediately, but hosting under 20 World Cup or the Club World Cup, yeah, those are pushes in the right direction for all the clubs that we have, all the academies that we have, state associations, everything. To come, let's work together, because we might get a bigger fruit, coming in the direction.
Well, talking about India hosting the Club World Cup. I almost forgot that I was hosting the show and I was part of it. I think if I get my points, we'll have one whole day of the show going on. So I will contain them to my tweets and whatever thoughts there. But I think Chiranjeev needs a break here because he spoke a lot. So I think we will slip into a short break. But on the other side, we have the big previews of the FIFA World Cup, and also we'll talk about something that's a friendly match going on between East Bengal and Bengaluru FC. We'll be back soon.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I've done episodes so far on demonetization, GST, surgical strikes, immigration and MRP. And I will continue my forensic assault on the truth in the weeks to come.
Catch the show every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer. Or visit seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
And we're back again. This is the TFG Indian Football Podcast, and here we have some interesting news coming out. I think Times of India, if I'm not wrong, have reported that 5 senior national team players have complained to AIFF about the head coach, Stephen Constantine. Kevin, are they acting like... I don't know. I'm not drawing that comparison.
Is this the senior team? Or is it Nicola Adam who's back?
Did somebody get a boot?
But why? India is at the top of the group in the qualifiers, and we're doing well. It doesn't look like any disruption is happening in the camp, and all of a sudden we hear this that players are not happy about the coach and they want him out. That's
Chiranjeev?
It's more like a horror story.
Yeah.
Suddenly.
Yeah, this is this is a story from Jerry Basu.
It's like a twist in the movie.
Yeah, this is coming in from Delhi to the 10 part 2. That's when we'll know the whole story of what is happening. But look, there are a lot of people who keep saying that Constantine is not the best coach to lead India, and he's just got lucky because India have cooked their fixtures in order to go up the rankings. But yeah, look at one of the things that I'm reading in the article. That some of the players have complained that Constantine has benefited from increased fitness levels. Like, dude, he literally brought in the GPS, he brought in the sports scientist, he brought in a new dietary regimen, and he worked. He pointed out the flaws in the training methods of different clubs and worked on correcting them. That's what resulted in the increased fitness in Indian football team. So if he has benefited from it, yeah, he deserves to benefit from it because he created it.
Yeah. So what is wrong in all of this? What is the complaint actually?
I don't know. They're saying his technical knowledge is limited. No, not everybody can be like a super tactician. There are different coaches who work differently. But if they are delivering, okay, we have had bad luck matches. A lot of people will say Bob Houghton's era was better because we took on better teams and we beat them and all that stuff. But we did not get the benefits of it because most of it was unofficial friendlies and all of that stuff. But you cannot, we are in a situation right now. We're trying to get to the pot 2, and we cannot just risk us playing like Saudi or UAE or Thailand and stuff like that at the moment. Maybe that is not the best thing to do. Maybe we will do that after the pot seedings are done. It's a situation that we are in now, and Constantine is a coach who has made the best of that situation. We have managed to win most of our games. We are on a winning streak right now, on an unbeaten streak. Better to be put better. And if the team is delivering results, I don't see any decisive argument that can be made for the removal of this coach. How can you do that really? You are winning under this coach, and you're gonna say okay, no, we don't like him for this and that reason. Nobody's gonna be perfect. Who is gonna replace him? Whoever replaces him, if you get Ashley Westwood into that job, even he's not going to be that perfect. He's gonna he may end up punching the opposition coach or whatever. Then what are you gonna say? So, yeah, I'm not saying Ashley Westwood is not a good coach, or I wouldn't like to see him lead the team India. But look, he's winning. That's what it comes down to. He's winning, and he's given us a winning streak that we have never had before. So, how can you throw him out at this point?
I'm still wondering what is the complaint though, if this news is true. Moving on. We will get you more updates on that. Moving on, Chiranjit, give us some updates. Now it's real time just while we are recording. East Bengal is playing Bengaluru FC, the friendly, or I don't know what to call it.
Yeah.
But what is our inside source telling us? What does it look like?
This is from the Facebook page. This is second-hand information, by the way, quote unquote, before anybody says anything. Bengaluru FC are trailing 3-1. It seems like East Bengal started most of their reserves at the first, and immediately Bengaluru went on the offensive and scored a couple of goals. 16 minutes in, they went 2-0 up. I think I can't get who scored the first goal. I think that happened 2 minutes into the match. Then Katsumi scored a goal, but he was offside, so no goal. And then 16 minutes into the game, Udanta scored the goal. Then 18 minutes into the game, Bengaluru FC scored again. It was like complete domination, and that's when everybody started to just make some substitutions. Like Louis Barreto was the goalkeeper at the beginning. He was subbed off for Dibindu, and some proper defenders were put in. And then Bengaluru FC hit the post. Then East Bengal kept fighting. Then towards the end of the first period, obviously this is 3 periods of 30 minutes. Towards the end of the first period, Plaza scored for East Bengal, and that was 3-1. Then Plaza scored again, but he was again offside, so still 3-1. And right now it's been 2 periods over, and the match is still 3-1.
So Bengaluru FC is leading, right?
Bengaluru FC is leading 3-1, and it seems like the referee is not there right now. So, yeah. So it's like that's what they're doing. It's like the first 60 minutes are with a referee, and the third period is without a referee. So,
what?
Yeah. That's what they did. Even the last one.
It's actually like a friendly match,
Okay.
We just come, we play, have fun.
Can we expect the goalkeeper to take the ball and just run all the way?
So by the way, even yesterday, so Bengaluru FC's equalizer in the last game came after the referee had left. So conspiracy.
Who blows the whistle for the goal? Then?
Exactly. Who makes it official? So does that goal count?
This would have been fun if we were watching it.
Yeah, I mean, again, some of these guys from East Bengal and Bangalore group have snuck into the Kantirawa Stadium. Like, who's in charge of security at Bengaluru? Kya ho raha hai? Like, closed door, you have told us not to come, then why?
It's coming all from Khalid Jamil. He's done it before.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, remember how Khalid Jamil planted what do you call it? When he was an Aizawl FC coach,
that's exactly the reference. That's exactly Kevin made the reference.
In the Bengaluru FC wala thing. Oh yeah.
That's exactly Kevin.
This is,
of course.
Khalid Jamil is always cooking something.
Yeah.
Whether he's in Kantirawa or whatever.
Well, let's put that aside. We have serious things to talk about. Let's keep the friendly bit. We'll update you for the TFG Football Twitter handle for the second-hand informations about these games. Now, the first-hand information that we are giving you is the FIFA U-17 World Cup is heading towards the end of the campaign. We have a final match happening, and before that we'll have a third-place game between Brazil and Mali. That's happening tomorrow, 28th. Both the games are happening tomorrow. One is at 5 p.m, the other is at 8. Let's talk about the Brazil-Mali match. I was rooting for them to play in the finals, but it so happened that they're playing for the third place. Kevin?
Yes, Brazil and Mali. Brazil could have reached the final, but then they were proved that they are not invincible, and that's the reality that they will be playing for the third place in the under 17 third place game. Mali, they missed out on Kamara there. It could have been a game changer had he been there. So it makes a difference when you have a player who's been making all the right moves for your team, leading kind of by example. So that could be a difference for Brazil also. Now we talked about how they can change dynamically during the game itself. So again, Mali has not done anything wrong, just that their finishing let them down in the previous game. So I hope there are some better goals to see from Mali, not that controversial goal that did cross the line, the goal line, and bounced off and was not given. They've been a great competitive team, Mali. This is the final game in this tournament. Let's hope they get the best out of the squad and they take them a lot of positives.
Yes. So if I had to ask you, pick a winner, Brazil versus Mali, who takes the third place?
I'm really looking forward to Mali playing in the way they have been. Just some luck on the side to get the goals that they've been deserving. So I'm looking for a good 1-0 or maybe a 2-1 to Mali.
Okay. We'll come back to the finals. Chiranjeev, your quick thoughts on Brazil versus Mali for the third place?
I think it should be 2-1 to Brazil because as a unit, I see Brazil as much superior than Mali. Again, I would have actually liked to see Brazil versus Mali final because I wanted Mali to win the semi-final simply because I did not see Spain as a deserving qualifying team for the semi-final.
Yes,
I think
thank
France
you,
should have gone
Chiranjeev.
through.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes. So yeah, but Mali blew it, and we actually have. I mean, you cannot complain about England at this point. They beat Brazil fair and square, but
they've been amazing this tournament.
Yeah, but Spain are lining a ride of luck. So yeah,
they always
Brazil
have
versus
that.
Mali. To me, that will be the game to watch that day. I'm glad it's happening on the same day, and you will actually see like people coming. People might just leave. This might just happen for the first time in a World Cup history. People will see the third place match and then leave. Some people will do that. I have a feeling. So I'm giving Brazil the win because I think they owe it to Kolkata, the city that sold out their match for hours and turned up to support them. It's a different continent. They're thousands of miles away, but they have been made to feel home by 60,000 people. And the performance that Brazil put on against England really let the people down, those who had taken all the trouble to come to support them. So I think they owe it to the Kolkata people to put on a show on Saturday, and I hope they do that. I hope they get a win and end this on a high note.
Well,
that's
exactly.
what it is.
I mean, watching Brazil play, I think two matches that I got the opportunity of, few names have been household names, just like Paulino, and
Breno.
Breno and Antonio and all of those guys. So it's been great. Hopefully, this match proves to be just exciting as I was hoping it to be. Brazil versus Mali. Now coming up with the final match.
By the way, just as an aside, a 20-second aside into this point. Brazil has suddenly noticed India. There is a huge, social media wave in Brazil about the support for Brazil in India, and a lot of Brazilian clubs are suddenly interested in getting involved with India. So we might actually get the Brazilian top league clubs coming in for friendlies. Maybe they will start football schools or whatever it is. They have done that before. Some Brazilian clubs have come over in the past, but that might happen on a much larger scale now that this has happened. This is what tournaments like this do. They create relations and friendships and respect where it was not there before.
Well, we'll all welcome the samba with arms opened, wide open. Now let's talk about the final match: Premier League versus La Liga. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm saying England versus Spain is what I meant, but that's what comes to your mind, right, when you listen to these two countries. That they are playing against the final. I'm on Chiranjeev. I absolutely 100%. I say yes to what Chiranjeev made a point, saying that Spain has had the luck on them. I mean, I have seen them play 3 matches in Kochi, and it was absolutely luck because they either sneak in a goal through a defensive lapse of their opponent, but their opponents have always been the better side. Even if it was a 3 a 3-goal victory or a 4 goals victory, but luck is what you also need on your side, and that's what Spain has had. Chiranjeev, we'll start with you. England versus Spain, final. What do you look at it?
Yeah, I was really, really mad at Spain after they beat, France, because that game was going on so well, and Spain was going desperate because if they knew if they went into the penalties they would lose, because France had a really good goalkeeper, and they just wanted to score a goal, and then they get a penalty, like legit penalty, But that was an individual mistake. There was no need to go for that foul over there. But yeah, that gave them the goal, and they are now came into the semi-finals, and then this happened, that happened. Now they're in the final. I would never support England, because it's a guilty pleasure of mine that England never wins anything in football. So it's something to laugh at. But I would never support England, but I kind of think England deserve it more than Spain, just by the way that they have reached the final. Yep. So I will say let's say a 2-1 victory for England. It's not going to be a very entertaining game. Neither side will want to make that mistake. Both sides will be conservative. Nobody will want to concede the first goal as European teams do. If you're going to the match, might as well bring a pillow with you. Just take a nap in the first half maybe. So all of that is going to unfold. It's going to be a rather boring game after the blockbuster that we will see, Brazil versus Mali.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's going to be towards the end. Maybe it will even go down to penalties, and that will be the most exciting part of that match. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, just to mention one thing, since Chiranjeev mentioned about the boring factor, I mean, one more thing to add. Whatever match Spain has been involved in, I have got the opportunity to watch. All of them has been boring, and we are like in the press box sitting hands folded. What do we write about this game? That's how we've always wondered. But coming to you, Kevin, England versus Spain.
Somehow I feel there'll be goals. Just the way England have been scoring consistently, I think they're not going to stop in the final as well. Yeah, but again, this is one game, and there's no, this is the ultimate thing. So they will be a little, relaxed a bit, but they won't go all out in the first half. Second half is where we might see a couple of goals coming in from either teams.
Who are you giving the win?
England looks favourite for me over here by the way that they've taken the chances. Spain are little. Their transition is very good from defense to attack and attack to defense. They just get numbers behind quickly in either way forward or coming back to defend. So that way it looks like kind of England are able to score. They look highly favourite to score, but it's the final. Will they go all out as they've been going even in the semi-final against Brazil? They did go all out even after the conceding that equalizer. They did not want to slow down. So that's the kind of mix. But I feel there'll be goals. But I don't know which half.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that Santi, the coach of Spain, is not listening to the show because we are favouring the England side. But let's see. Let's expect for a good game, just like we all mentioned. I mean, whichever Spain has been, one has been boring, second luck has always been on their side. Hopefully this game is a cracker of a match and builds up to the whole atmosphere, saying it's the finale of the Under-17 FIFA World Cup in India. And that brings us to the end of our show, the TFG Indian Football Podcast. Wishing you all a happy weekend. Enjoy the matches. Come back to us on Monday and we'll have a daily dose of Indian football to you. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please do the honors. Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get updates for a new episode. You can also leave your comments below. Let us know what you think about the finale and the Brazil versus Mali for the third place match. You can also talk to us directly, Chiranjeev Oja, Boza_Kevin, Sujin Matthew 94. Do follow the TFG football Twitter handle for all the updates regarding football and everything.
First hand and second hand.
Yeah, first-hand information and also the second-hand information. For all the updates, log on to the website, thefangrass.com, to read about all the stories that we've done over the days and that we'll be doing in the future as well. Have a great day, folks. Cheers. Enjoy. Come back to us next week. Ta-da.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started atkt.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through atkt.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. atkt.in.
एक्सक्यूज मी भैया, एक्सक्यूज मी.
बोलिए मैडम.
मेन्यू में क्या है?
मेन्यू में सीन अनसीन है, पॉडकास्ट है, ऑन कोर्स है, साइरस है, मेड इन इंडिया, रीडिस्कवरी प्रोजेक्ट, एम्पावरिंग सीरीज, सेक्स वैक्स है, IVM लाइक्स है, सिंप्लीफाइड है, कीपिंग इट क्वियर है, थिंग्स एंड डेस्टिनेशंस है, माय नेबर सकरबर्ग है और द फैन गराज है. आपको क्या चाहिए?
एक बार रिपीट कर देंगे क्या?
रिपीट नहीं करता हम. आप जाओ IVMpodcast.com पे और सुनो ये सब, या फिर डाउनलोड करो उनका ऐप. सब आपकी उंगलियों पे.